This video is brought to you by JobNimbus.
13 years overnight success. Love it.
Yeah, it's not all about the money, but it's about the legacy.
You realize this is not a trade, this is a business. This is a company. When was that moment for you?
First time I ever took home a $20,000 check, a lot of light bulbs went off in my head.
This is the stuff nobody's talking about. This is the stuff they don't teach in school.
Yeah, I want to see customers be happy. I want to see people make money. And I don't want to have these renewals in 10 years and people say, no, I'm out and I'm going to start and compete against you.
How many times do you want to quit in the past 13 years? Especially with the PE right now.
I like PE.
You do?
Oh, I love them. I love competing against PE.
Easy to go against?
My favorite.
Mark, not gonna lie, I usually try to match people I interview. For years I've been really good, but I got out of the airplane, I wear a hoodie. Did not expect you to wear a suit, and I've seen the pictures with your brother Dan. You always wear a suit, he always wear company shirts. What's up with the suit? Why you always dressed up for the job?
Honestly, it's sort of like a badge of honor for always being so dirty, working with my hands and always sweating and, you know, working on the roofing. You come home and you wash yourself off and you're covered in black, and now I just wear it like I made it, you know. I kind of always wanted to have a suit.
Love it. So you started your company in 2012.
Yeah.
You worked with your hands, with your brother. And then you'll take us there in a second, but first, when did you start wearing suits?
Probably 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
13 years overnight success. Love it.
Yeah.
So let's go all the way to 2012. How did you start your company? What was the early vision?
So take it way back to where we started. My dad always rented our house out for him to have income. And one time he rented it. It was always our friends that lived there. And for the first time ever, he rented to a stranger. And the guy that moved in, he was a roofer. So at the time, we didn't really have much going on, and he kept telling us how good the industry is, how good the industry is. And one day he's like, you should open a roofing company. We should open a roofing company. And I went to Ohio State, and whenever I was there, my professor's like, if you don't have anything and you want to be successful, you should think about getting in the service industry. And my uncle is successful, and I always asked him why commercial real estate, not regular real estate. And he's like, Mark, if you put your dedication to something, you're going to succeed. So you should pick something expensive because you'll always take home a bigger profit margin. So when my friend said roofing, I was like, well, this is perfect. We can get in the service industry and it's expensive. So it kind of just started like that. And yeah, the four of us all put in $500 and just hit the ground running.
Roofing is like a drug. We're like a drug dealers. We use it and everybody around us have to use it. You know, some hate that I get on the channel all the time is like, Dimitri, stop telling people how great the roofing is.
Yeah.
We have too many players, and literally sometimes in the middle of the night, people will send me like threats, like, you ruined the industry, now everybody wants to get in. What's funny is that recently was at a Patrick Bet-David conference, the Vault. And it's a huge giant conference, like, I don't know, 8,000-9,000 people, and we were doing these case studies. So he would give us a task from the stage, and we're talking about people around us. So behind me was a guy who's been in the restaurant business all his life, like 30 years plus. So we turn around, introduce ourselves, right? And like, what do you do, man? He's like, a restaurant business. Never ever get in a restaurant business. It's like opposite. Actually, in China, they have a famous saying, like, if you hate someone, wish them, like negative wish them a restaurant. I love it. Do you feel like in 2025, roofing is still as lucrative as it was back in 2012?
Well, we've always gone through different phases, right? Like, when we had the company very small and we were doing all the work ourselves, it was extremely profitable. And then we started scaling and we kind of became less profitable while we were growing. And then at like the 10-year point, we stabilized. We didn't push too much, and then we became more profitable again. So it depends the era. There is money in it. I can't discount that. There's a lot of money in it. We call it Hotel California because once you get in the industry, you never leave. So
Can you share some early struggles from first 12 to 24 months? Do you remember that time? Like, what was the
Yeah.
hardest thing first 2 years in business?
I mean, for me, the hardest thing obviously was the work. When I first got into it, I was kind of not exposed to it so much. And then I started doing the roofs. I was like, this is hard. And you got to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and you got to do it all over again. But like the real hard pain points that we had was probably the first year we didn't get certificates of insurance from our subcontractors. Then we had like an $80,000 workers' comp claim. Like we had to pay for their workers' comp. And that was like 80,000 unexpected dollars. That was probably one of the first hard things.
A lot of people closed their doors at that moment.
Yeah, that was a scary one for sure. First time we ever got a OSHA violation.
How much was that?
That was about $14,000.
This is the stuff nobody's talking about. This is the stuff they don't teach in school.
Yeah, there's a lot of hardships along the way, but we like challenges. I think all of our bad, mishaps are an opportunity to be better. So now we make sure we get our certificates of insurance before we subcontract work.
Wow. Do you remember the moment when you realized, like, hey, this can be a business? And because there's a trade, like, looks like you entered the trades first, and then I feel like we all have this moment. I know I had when you realize this is not a trade, this is a business, this is a company. When was that moment for you? When did you become a company versus just a tradesman?
I mean, the first time I ever took home a $20,000 check, a lot of light bulbs went off in my head. It was an amazing moment. I remember walking to the bank holding that thing like a golden goose, like it was the most special thing in the world to me.
Wow.
So at that point, it was like, all right, let's go. And for us, like we weren't like roofers when we came into it. We had someone on the team that was. So we always had a very conscientious, like run it like a business type mentality. But not so much that, like, we're not afraid to lose money to make sure a customer's happy or something like that. Like, it's not all about the money, but it's about the legacy. You want to make sure that this company can grow and it can feed families. And now there's a lot of people that depend on it, and we want to expand it and go across the country, hopefully. But we've always had a very business-oriented mindset, like check the return on investment of marketing and just make sure that you run a good business. I mean, it's all about communication, checking your processes, making sure things are going good, and then obviously giving a good product.
How did running business with your brother affected you, and how was like, give me the challenges and the best part of it?
Yeah, so my brother has always been just so good at work, like getting things done. He has like a sense of urgency, like instilled in him that's phenomenal. Originally, it was a very, very good setup. We had 4 people, but it became 3 pretty quick within the first season. I ran all the administrative, all the estimating. He ran all the sales, and the other partner ran all the production. So it was pretty much perfect. I would say once we got to the point where we almost like facilitated all of our workload through the team is when a little bit of the difficulty became, because we weren't so busy working inside the company, we were now directing it. And then you had a little bit of contrast. Additionally, like I'm the youngest in my family, 3 older brothers. He's my older brother. So I think that there's that nature, like I'm always right, you're my little brother type of thing. But I've had a good connection with all of our teammates. So I've always been kind of a little bit of a leader of this company. So that's kind of where the dynamic was challenging. But the good thing is, like, that's your brother, and this, how this game is, like, it is a brotherhood through and through. Like the crew aspect is a brotherhood. Yep. The team is a brotherhood. So yeah, you have your fights and your arguments and your challenges, but that's what keeps you going whenever that's too hard.
Can you name one mistake that you guys made early on that you learned from, that to this day you still use that lesson, whatever happened the first year or 2, that, hey, that was bad, we're not doing that again, and to this day you're still using it?
I mean, the OSHA violation situation definitely.
What happened with the OSHA? Was it just tie off?
Yeah, tie off. So that was like always something that we would do, is just kind of roof, and when we needed to tie off, we
So you're telling me you're making your roofers now tie?
Oh yeah. definitely.
But they push back so hard, right? Like it's, if it's walkable roof, 1 story, nobody wants to put extra weight on you.
Right. Yeah, it's not a fun part of the game, but we have such a good relationship with our sub crews and we give them so much work.
So if they don't want to do it or you catch them not doing it, what do you do?
Tell them to leave.
Really?
Yeah. And
Does it happen like do you provide safety harnesses or is it them or?
no, well, at first we'll buy them if they don't have the money for them,
Sure.
and then they can work it off. We're always buying tools and things.
What happens if you buy and you bring them and then you come to the job site and they're not using it?
Got to go. I mean,
Does it
honestly,
happen?
yeah, because the main thing is now that we're kind of the name around town, like it's the competitors that call. So there is a target on our back in that sense. So we really have to protect that. Safety is crucial. I mean, we've gone through all the safety scares you could have, and it's very
Any
important.
accidents on the job site?
Oh yeah. I mean, we've had people that were tied off that fell.
Sure.
We've had an electrocution. We've had
Ooh.
deaths.
Is that like the worst thing that happened?
That is by far the worst thing that ever happened. Yeah, they were taking the ladder off the van, standing up a ladder vader on the sidewalk. It actually arced and grabbed the ladder, pulled it in. 4 people were holding it to make sure that they weren't going to hit the wire. All 4 of them got taken down. We resuscitated 2 people. They were out, no problem. 2 people died.
2 people died. Oh, yeah. Was it a huge toll on the company?
It was the hardest thing that we ever dealt with. Like it
I can't imagine.
It was the saddest thing. With these people were like brothers to us, and the people, they were young, they had families. Like it still haunts me, to be honest with you. I'm very, very connected with everybody in this company, like beyond friends, like family. And to have something like that and have someone wear your jersey and die wearing it is something that you can't look past.
When was that?
That was in July.
This year?
This year. Yeah, all over the news, all over the radio. So
you got this place in June and that happened in July. Yeah. So it's like the highest and the lowest next to each other.
Exactly. This year, if like all the things that happened, it was eventful.
It's unbelievable. I don't know how to recover. Like it's always, I've never have any employee or any, I mean, we have accidents, but not to that. It was always my biggest fear.
Yeah, I mean, you never want it to come from a fall.
Of course.
Right? Because then you're negligent as can be. This situation was a freak accident. It really was truly an accident, heartbreaking, but in some sense, it's like a token of understanding how to prevent problems. Like that's our business we run through so many problems that I can coach somebody out of or avoid. I mean, if we were to start over right now, it would be very good. We just ran through every single problem that there was, basically.
And in 2012, I would also say, because I got into business 2013, today you have so many mentors, so many online schools, conferences. In 2012, it was nothing.
Nothing.
Like nothing. Like I remember the demand, even 5 years ago when I opened the roofing school online, and I would start sharing, like I opened my doors. We were doing, 3-4 million a year. People were coming. I was showing CRM. I was showing QuickBooks. People were like, nobody's doing it. I'm like, wow, we didn't have a roofing school. Right. We had mentors, early mentors, like scammers, marketers who were trying to get $1 from you, but, not a lot of people who open the doors and show you how to operate. Industry was very closed. Like,
yes,
everybody's watching, for themselves. Nobody wanted to share anything. Do you feel like industry changed in the past 10 years now?
Oh, yeah.
We're friends with the competition now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not afraid of competition here. I really think that it's survival of the fittest, and we welcome everybody into the industry, but it's definitely changed. I mean, in the last 5 years alone, it's changed a lot. Like when we first came into the business, it was basically the Goliaths and the Chuck and the Trucks. And we were like, now you're starting to see these like $5-6 million companies that are pretty established and pretty good, but it's all different. These guys come in like immediately, they're just more of a contractor than a worker. When we started, like we did all our own roofs for years, probably 3 years. We were doing the flat roofing, doing the metal roofing, doing the shingles. So now I like to call it like the tablet jockeys. Like when we go to the conferences, you go to the Owens Corning, like every single person is much more of a businessman than a roofer.
Mm.
So it's definitely changed a lot. I think it was good timing for us to get in the industry.
Do you feel like it affects the quality of the jobs too? Because number one hate that I get on my channel every time I talk to a big business owner, PE, someone who's, made it, like everybody's like, well, nobody is focusing on the trades, on the quality of the jobs. Everything is all about sales and marketing now.
Yeah.
People hate it, and we do see why, because there's not a lot of emphasis on the quality, on the training. Do you feel like the shift should go back to the crews and quality of installs?
I personally like to train everybody from that level. I want people starting as project managers, going into sales, going into management. I think that there's a lot of benefits.
What about install itself?
Install itself, we do run a lot more of a subcontractor model. So like I have my best three crew leaders, and then they've pretty much duplicated along the way. And those guys are phenomenal. But if you have someone who's supervising them that doesn't know what they're doing, that doesn't help anything either.
Mm-hmm.
So I like people understanding how to actually roof. Like even a salesman, like you can make so many errors by not knowing how to actually do a roof when you estimate.
Is it possible in Pittsburgh area to have not subcontract business model, like all employees installers?
It's mainly the commercial flat roofers that are like that do the schools and the prevailing wage. Aside from that, it's pretty much subcontractor.
But is it because of the work comp cost, or there's other factors?
Workers' comp's a big deal. For us, the reason why it's like that is because there's so many things you need to manage inside your business. Adding that element of labor is just hard. Like we need to focus on the marketing, make sure that we're selling good, make sure that we're supervising well, we're communicating well, we're there if there's a problem to fix it. Like there's just so many areas that like when that box is checked with labor, that's good. Allows us to work more on the business than in it.
Do you feel that this hate in the industry between crews and bigger, the companies, businesses? I feel like crews hate, PEs and brand names because they feel like they do all the work and they don't get paid, which I would argue that crews oftentimes make more money than some businesses. Do you agree with it?
There's been a lot of people along the way inside my business that for various years were making more money than me. Subcontractor for sure. That guy was making tons of money. Our salesmen that time.
Because they don't take risk. They get
Right.
paid
And
as long as they get paid. Unfortunately, sometimes
Right.
they don't. But if they get paid, you always have better side of the deal.
Yeah, I mean, we tee it up for them. They basically show up. They have work every single day. Like it's not easy for us to make that work.
Yeah.
So I think it's a match made in heaven. But we very much cherish our subcontractors. So we don't have high turnover there at all.
How many times did you want to quit in the past 13 years?
I would say I never wanted to quit, but there's been a lot of times that I've been like, oh, how are we going to get through this? I'm a very resilient person and resourceful, and I like a challenge, but it's easy to get a knock and be like, how are we going to come back from this? But for me, I'm a little stubborn. I'd like to say that I never want to quit. I never want to sell. I never want to stop. I mean, I love it. I think everything in my life is lined up perfectly to be here. And I'm very happy at the point where it is now, where I can just like organize, lead, build, and not spend so much time like working physically.
If you could give one piece of advice to 20-year-old Mark before starting Buccos, what would that be?
Be careful about how fast you grow. For sure.
So sales don't fix everything?
No. No, it could actually add to the problems. There's a cause and effect to everything. Be conscientious about who you bring on. Have systems in place early. I mean, we were just absolutely blessed that we had good people that were bought in, that cared. But you can't give that much whenever you have 35 people and you have 35 trucks and you have all this going on all the time. You have to be very, very tight with it. And I always was like, let's just grow. Let's just get bigger. Let's get bigger. And I'm happy that we didn't remain too small. But the good thing is now, like, we got such good people and such good management, and now all the systems are becoming easier with the technology and the AI and things like this. So now we have the bandwidth back from our team to be able to focus on this expansion plan.
Let's talk about franchising. I met a few people. Looks like that's the direction you're going. So you do want to expand. When did you realize, like, hey, it's time to grow, get bigger, go home? That's how I feel.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're there yet, but when did you realize that you want to go that direction?
I've always wanted that.
Really?
You know, I've always, you know, maybe it's a little bit crazy, but when I first started this company, I was young and 22 years old, right? And I always just...
So you dreamed big.
We're going to be the best. We're going to be the biggest, you know? It was just always there in my mind. And then we started, like, overtaking the big guys in our territory. And it was amazing. And then we kind of got a little confidence and it's like, okay, we actually can do this. So I always wanted to do it. The only problem that we've had to be able to do it is money. You know, like whenever you think about building a new branch, it's like, okay, $500,000. Like I said, we started with $1,500. Like, it's been buy a new truck, get a new teammate, buy a new truck, get a new teammate,
Reinvest.
get a new building. And then it's like, all right, well, how do we get into these new cities? And we kind of just landed on the franchise model because it's like, all right, well, if we can get other people to put in their money, we can certainly save them a ton of headache. We can make sure that the systems work. And now we're getting into that. Well, not now. It's been almost 2 years that we're building that out. And I'm starting to see the competitive analysis between the other guys. And I'm starting to think that's like a little bit of robbery, you know, between like these other franchisees. So we're trying to come with an approach like, we understand this game. And a couple percentage points goes a long way. So we're trying to dial that in. I mean, obviously, when we met with the lawyers, they're like, oh, this is where you need to be to compete. And then I review my business, and I'm like, that's probably too much, to be honest. But then I go on the other side of things. I'm like, well, what's it worth to have a subcontractor contract that is worth gold and protects you under every circumstance? And what's it like to have all these trouble that we've gone through and understand how to prevent someone to go through that? Like, it's clearly worth something. And then you have the brand recognition, the Google authority, the buying power, the rebates. Like, there's a lot of good that comes with it too. So that's kind of the fine tuning that's going on right now.
You know what's funny? I flew in this morning. Yesterday, I have a guest flying into my office. He just got out of franchisee. Like, he bought into franchise, and they were they sold to PE. And they gave him a letter of intent to buy back, whatever, and it did not go through. So he bought in, and he lost essentially his company. And when he was giving me his numbers, I'm like, that's not a good deal. We're talking about like 7% of
Crazy.
top plus 1% brand fee. It's already 8%, and they're not even doing other stuff. Anyway,
To me, that's criminal.
yes.
Honestly.
I did not see yet very, very good, attractive franchise model that I would buy in.
Right.
When I see like McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, right? Like, I'm like, I understand that. I understand how someone buys 5 and next year 6, 7, 8, and they keep growing. Like, you'll meet people who have like 8 stores in their city because it's working and they keep adding. It's just a numbers game. I don't see that in the roofing space yet.
It's completely different, right? We go and buy a McDonald's, you drop $1 million, you're set up to make money forever out of that location. Roofing, we have to buy new trucks. We have to get more people. Like, you have to have money to grow.
Yep.
So I've been battling that, you know, what's the perfect percentage point? It's definitely not 8, you know, like that's, to me, we're going to be extremely competitive when it comes to how big your territory size is, what's the percentage that you pay.
I'm gonna review it. Like, once ready and rolling, I wanna review it, compare it, because so far I'm telling you, like, I have not seen any good ones, and I was dying to see. Every single deal I have seen the corporate always have way better side of the deal.
Oh, yeah.
Always. Because I know what it takes to start from scratch, and I know what it takes, like in other businesses, to buy in. And usually it makes sense. Like there's some investment, you buy territory, you buy name, like, and then when I look at it, it's like 7%, 10%, $150,000 down. I'm like, dude, you can do all of this, and there's not much that you actually get on the back end.
Yeah.
So I hope this thing will work because I like it.
I'm telling you, we're coming like from a we are roofers perspective.
Yeah.
Whereas I think a lot of these other franchisees are very corporate, private equity. They want to make their money through that model. Where my biggest focus is actually the legacy. I want to see this business go outside of the city. I want to see customers be happy. I want to see people make money. And I don't want to have these renewals in 10 years and people say, no, I'm out and I'm going to start and compete against you. We need to give them enough resources and benefits to want to continue to work with us. And that starts by not having too high of a royalty, having great, rebates, I'm very generous when it comes to growing this business because I want to see that guy outlive me. So that's more the primary focus is, and I know it's worth something, like I can't just be like, oh yeah, 0% take this, right?
Of course.
Because
it has to make it work.
Yeah.
You have to be profitable. It's not going to work for anyone. So what does the Buccos system include that you believe is repeatable and franchise ready?
Our estimating process is to a T. We had a exact percentage point we were trying to hit. We ran the books at the end of the year and we hit it on the dot. So our estimating is flawless. Our analysis on the market, on our marketing, the return on investment, it's very good. I know where to spend money and where not to. And you know how it goes when you get in the industry. Everybody calls you and, oh, yep, $2,500, that's one roof, just sign with me. And you just take them, you take all the deals.
So stupid.
Right? But we do it, that's how you learn. And then you review them. So our rebates are phenomenal. You're going to get the platinum, Owens Corning platinum situation. The buying power is fantastic. The Google authority, which is
That's big.
Very big. We have 12 years, thousands of 5-star reviews. We have the team to train people, coach you out of these problems. Like our system, how we train our people is so customer focused and quality roof oriented that I would be shocked if you came in the space and you didn't succeed.
Can you name a problem, growing pain problems that you have today that you did not expect to have at this stage after 13 years?
Right now, I still feel like we just keep, I love good people, I think that's the secret sauce for me. I can teach you how to roof. I can't teach you to be a good person, right? So you said earlier today, you guys have a lot of people here. I don't want to let go of a good guy. I'd rather create an opportunity for them to make an impact in this company. So right now, I'd say the hard thing is we're just overly heavily invested, and we're not trying to be that expensive. So we really need this next expansion phase to work. I feel like right now we're on a launch pad filling up the gas, and we need it to work because we have a lot of people that are dedicating their time to this.
Do you know yet, or are you trying to figure out your bottlenecks of opening multiple locations? What do you feel like your bottleneck's going to be, or if you're already there?
Competition is kind of the one thing that's hard to really study. You move.
Especially with the PE right now.
I like PE.
You do?
I love them. I love competing against PE.
Easy to go against?
My favorite.
Really?
Because
they're overpriced, most of them.
So expensive. And they're not caring about the customer. They're caring about the money. That's such a different way of business. The amount of referrals that we get.
I'm glad someone's saying these things. It's not coming from my mouth.
There's a couple things about this business that got me really excited in the last 2 years. And I would say the private equity offers really, it really made me feel like I was on the right path. They come in, they want our business, they give high offers, and then you say, we're onto something. Whereas before you were like, is it really valuable? Is it worth putting all my time and effort? And then you see these offers and they get higher and they get higher and they get higher. You're like, all right, we're on to something here. And then when you see private equity come into your space, you're like, they're not dumb. They're coming in because this is the place to be. And we're kind of the leaders in our space, in our territory, right? Not in the nation, but that's energizing. You want to be able to be in a place where you compete with these high level executives, and the fact that we're winning just makes it so much more exciting. So I love that they came into our space. I feel like that's just solidified so much on our future growth. But when I talk about competition, I'm actually talking about the people like us in these other towns that had a name for 10 years, that everybody knows and trusts, that are doing 30,000 square. And how do you compete with those guys?
What qualities are you looking into people who would buy your first franchises? Like, what kind of owners are you looking for?
I would love
Ideal candidates.
I would love somebody that understands the industry. You know, if we could get like maybe a rep from an ABC or someone that was a foreman of like a Centimark, like a big company that understands how to do the roofing. You know,
ex-employee or ex-sales rep.
Yeah, that would be ideal because I think we can teach them the business side of things. But there's a huge learning curve with actually understanding roofing. And then when you understand that, you prevent so many problems. So that would be my ideal candidate, more than somebody with money, that's for sure.
What part of the business is most automated and what part is still needs to have improvement?
We automate like systematic things that human can make errors. You know, like our CRM is basically, it walks itself down a line, but we don't want to automate any personal connection. You know, like I don't want to do follow-up calls with an automation. I don't want to answer the phone with an automation.
Interesting.
Yeah, I really love the personal touch.
So you push back against it?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not interested in losing the personal touch.
I see.
Yeah.
That's a very good point because a lot of people these days jump on this AI thinking AI will fix everything, but then what it does is, you know, it creates this 500 text messages, follow-ups, emails, and you know it's a robocall, you know, you know it's not real. I agree with you there. Like,
yeah, like I don't mind using AI to send the bill every week once the customers don't pay.
Yeah.
Right? But whenever we don't schedule on the initial call, you call us and then we pass it to the salesman. My salesman has to call that customer. And then whenever they do their follow-up, they have to call them. Like there's no computer that's going to connect with a human.
I recently got so annoyed with one of the automations. So I talked to someone. Someone introduced me to like big bank kind of thing, like line of credit, and it was big recommendations for me. And on the other side, there's a person, and we're supposed to connect. And then start getting phone calls, and the phone call would go like it's AI phone calls, like, "Hey, I'm assistant, blah blah blah. Is Dmitry available? Press 1. I'm trying to connect you to Carlos." I'm like, "Sure, press 1." And then, "Oh, Carlos is not available." It happened like 7 times because I was trying to connect with him, and I thought at first it was a system. Like, okay, like it's dialing. He's probably in the office, and instead of calling me, he's calling AI. But like if I answer, you know, we connect. Dude, after you know, it was like multiple. I sent him email. I said, "Listen, we need to connect. It's been 2 weeks of going back and forth. We're either gonna connect by the end of the day, or I don't want to do business with your company. Like we're done. Right. I don't care what value you bring to me. We're connected by the end of the day. Within 2 days, we have a deal."
Yeah.
But like I was sick and tired of these automations.
Oh, it's the
like
worst.
Just pick it up, send them like crazy.
Especially in our industry where when you do make a mistake, like they need us to pay attention, to get out there, to fix it. Like there's nothing less rewarding than to call a computer and be like, "Hey, my roof's leaking." Then you go and tell your spouse, "Nothing's going to happen." You know, like it's so much better to be like, "Hey, we got your call. Oh, we know what's going on. Not a big problem. We can take care of that. Sorry it happened. We're coming." Like that goes over great.
How do you plan to maintain quality control as the company grows to multiple markets?
This is it's a tough one, right? I mean, the company like we're very sticklers on pictures along the way, but you have to train these people to understand the roofing. That's what it keeps coming back to. Like if you don't understand roofing and you supervise roofers, that's a bad situation, right? So just continuously training how to understand roofing. Big person guy, you know, I'm hoping we just get the good people that care. Like you can tell, I'm always stating like, you're my comrade or my enemy. Like how much do you care? That's the big thing. And like, we have comrades. We have people that care, and it's not just about me. It's about this guy. It's about the customers. It's making sure that, and I just hope that continues. I mean, I'm pretty much the first line of defense of anybody that will take ownership of the brand outside of me. And I just need to be a good judge of character and try not to get tricked.
What's the biggest differences between running one location and managing multi-location brand?
Like you said, like things can happen without you seeing. Like now we decided to do like inventory. Like we've always never done inventory. So now it's like I need to know exactly how many tubes of caulking are there, because you wonder like what happens if things go missing. Oversight on credit card spends, things like that. Like if you're not around these people all the time, you have to have systems in place to check them. I mean, again, I think that we have really good people, but
where's that fine line, red line, if you will, between micromanaging and just trust? I remember when I gave my first employee credit card and I saw like he would spend 4 times, like small transaction, gas station, like $10-15. Not a big deal.
Adds up.
But it's also makes it personal, right? Like, why did you do it? You feel like he's stealing from you,
right.
Which is like, you're supposed to, I'm okay paying lunch. Like, if you know me, I'm always paying lunch and dinner, always cover the tab. But now he's employee, and if you have 40, 50 of them, and everybody's going to gas stations every time, it does it up. Where's that line?
You got to trust but verify, right? You can't really get a big company going without trust. But you will lose out on an opportunity to be a big company if you don't verify. So we do a lot of trust but verify. So I would say in the individual roles like salesman, project management, this layer of business, more micromanagement gets involved. Whenever you're talking about like the top business between the corporate development, the franchise development, very democratic management gets involved there. So I'm very big on, we pass things through the line. If you don't do yours, you screwed this guy and that guy. You get self-policed in that regard, So like on the developmental of the company, I'm not very micromanage oriented. I basically set it up so you will be exposed if you don't do your job. But when it comes to like the layers of like executing the business, there's a lot of systems in place to verify you're not getting hurt.
Love it. What's the biggest opportunity for Buccos over the next 3 years and the biggest threat?
Biggest opportunity is, I would love to see us get into multiple markets. The biggest threat, nobody wants to buy a franchise. That would hurt. I put in 2 years. It's been 2 years of hard work.
How much so far did it cost you just to develop, to prepare a franchise model to go to the market?
I'm thinking like $1 million. A lot of money.
So if people don't buy it, that's going to be a loss.
Yes. And not only did we spend time, effort, people, but I also had to change my business internally, right? I had a pretty well-oiled machine, but a lot of these franchise companies represent top line only. And they do that by design because roofers make a lot of money on the top line, right? We're trying to get to the point where I don't think it'll happen in 2026, but in the 2027, FDD is going to have bottom line full transparency. I think that's the plan. And that requires a lot of changes inside my business. So that's the big risk.
Translate, you can show off this, but like to really show, you have to open your books pretty much.
Exactly.
Not everybody wants to do it.
No, people don't understand that if you profit 15%, that's good. Like if you're doing $20 million and you're taking on 15%, that's great. If you're doing less than 10, you got some work to do. But a lot of people come in the industry and they're like, oh, well, your labor, your material, you should be making 40%. It's like, well, did you factor the trucks, the rent, the employees? Like there's a lot more. So
do you have an exit strategy if it does work out? So like, let's say you go to 100 locations, people buy in. Would you sell that company to PE 5 years down the line?
Personally, I know it sounds ambitious and I don't really love letting all my goals out of my bag, but private equity does not seem like an option for me. If I have it my way and we succeed to the highest level, I want to go public. Yeah,
That's what I thought.
That would be my exit strategy. That way I can stay on the board, I can stay working there, and the legacy continues.
Mm.
You know, people will start buying stock and they're going to say, I have stock in that company. I want to do a roof at that company. I don't like private equity.
Do we have public companies now?
They have service companies like Service Pro, and there's a couple of like non-roofers.
Mm.
I know that sounds crazy, but
Did Centimark? I think
they're employee owned.
Employee owned.
Yeah, they have like an ESOP, which is a very good business model too. And that's when we do our corporate locations, that's what we've been doing, putting employees that have ownership.
I see.
But yeah, I mean, that would be the perfect goal, because then you exit with a company that actually continues. You know, I personally think private equity is not good for homeowners.
I'm going to make a bold prediction that you guys will go public in the next 5 years, and we will be back here even before that, document the journey.
I would love that. It would be great to have you come back, and
we
can, you know, all these things we're working on behind closed doors and have them come into fruition. It would be amazing.
Love it. Well, let's talk a little bit more about industry trends. We turn off the heater, so it's getting colder and colder, which is cold does not bother me, but Igor might be getting freezing behind the cameras. How is roofing industry in 2025 different from what you used to? Like how did it change in the past 5 years?
A lot of companies just popping up. I would say when I first went to a home show in Pittsburgh, I think that there was less than 10 roofers there. I think last year we counted as like 60. So a lot more competition. But what I understand is it's not easy, right? I mean, you've been there, like to get to this you're in business for 10 years thing, like you're 1 out of 25 is going to make that. So I welcome them, to be honest with you. Come on in, see what you can do. Hopefully there's something we can learn from you. That would be awesome. But we don't focus so much on them. Like we have to focus on us, what we can control. But now it's much more competition and then also you have the big corporate conglomerate, private equity, that kind of a little bit. They're more hidden. Like you don't really know that unless you're in the space, right? Like it's not like they advertise that they're a big business that owns 13 other brands, but that's the way that it is.
True. What materials or product categories have changed the most recently? Underlayment, shingles, ventilation. What do you see on the product side? Do you see, you know, something that's getting really better or something that's actually declining?
Our shingles, we're happy with the Owens Corning. I don't think there's been much change there. The lifetime pipe boot, I adore that thing. I think that's an amazing addition. I think that came around somewhere throughout our journey. The lifetime slant backs, I love that. I mean, the 024 metal, mule hide. I mean, I haven't really reviewed so many different products because we haven't deviated. Typically what happens with us is we find something good and we adopt it.
Got it.
And like we don't use 019 metal unless you have a russet red job and we have no choice, but everything's 024. It's got to be the thicker metal, the better underlayments. We make our own nails and paper like you do because you can actually get a good product at a reasonable price, share the savings to the customer, but have a product that you stand behind. So
are you going to be at IRE this year?
Yeah. Wow. We have a booth at the IRE.
Do you have a booth?
Yeah.
For Buccos, for franchise?
For franchising. Yep.
Ooh.
First time I ever been. I've never been to the IRE. I don't know what to expect.
Really?
Yeah.
You're going to be blown away.
Really?
It's the place to be. We have a booth there too. So
really?
Yeah. We have BM, underlayment business, and roofing insights.
Oh, nice.
So we have 20 by 20 booths. Like, we'll come.
20 by 10?
20 by 20.
You went all out. So
20
we got the
by
10
20.
by 10.
20 by 20. Come to our booth, I'll come to yours.
Absolutely.
That's
I like that.
If you guys come into IRE, come and find us. How are you adjusting pricing strategy in the environment of inflation and unpredictable material cost? Or is it pretty predictable when you...
I think we vary less than the average guy, right? Because of all the volume that we buy. We try to just pre-sell, you know, like the day that my signed contract comes in, I order the material and then we might complete it 6 weeks down the line. But we're very adaptive. Well, our pricing changes daily. If our price changes, the customer price changes.
Yep.
So
Do people complain about pricing?
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody really wants to buy a roof.
Of course.
You know, they have to. So you definitely have your $15,000 expense that comes. The one thing that people hate is the insurance. When the insurance is going to drop them,
Yes.
and then it's like, oh, if you don't do a new roof, then they got to come out
That's
and
the
spend
worst.
$15,000 when their roof, honestly, in my opinion, could go another 5 years.
Why you don't do a lot of insurance?
It's funny that we don't, because the very first thing that ever happened in our business, like if I were to tell you how we spent our $1,500, we got a down payment for a truck, we got the legal Zoom, and we had $100 left over. And we called on Craigslist and we bought leads. This guy had 1,000 leads for, or 10 leads for $1,000. And we called him, we're like, we'll give you $100 for the best lead that you have. And we went there, and it was the lead guy of an HOA, and his house just got hit by hail. So we were working on that thing. The neighbor came up, the neighbor came up, the neighbor came up, and we had this old truck that was so noisy.
How you were not becoming a storm chaser?
So lucky. I mean, it just changed the next year, you know, then we just had to adapt and learn how to market. It's such a good business to do the storm, and it's just, we don't get them that much, you know. I know that there's someone in the industry that says this, but he's like, we're not a storm chaser, we're a storm catcher. And I think that that's the better position to be in. Like if you're an established, good retail roofer and the storm comes through, you should, like it happened to me today. My insurance adjuster called me and he said, hey, someone just knocked on my door and said that I had hail damage. I'm like, okay, you're going to get your roof done? He's like, no, I want you to come and tell me. You know, my neighbor wants you to do it too. I was like, okay.
Well,
So
that's the power of the branding, power
Yeah.
of those wrapped vehicles. How has the political climate or upcoming election impacted homeowners' buying behavior? Do you feel like on the election years?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Many people don't understand it, but listen, if you even do content, if you publish your best video, best ads, everything kind of dies if something happened that week.
oh yeah. I never realized it until the manager of ABC told me, oh, it's an election year. That's why things aren't going good. And then I started paying attention to it, and it makes sense.
They know. ABC knows.
Yeah, they know, right? So, yeah, I think politics plays a big part in it. There's times when people feel more comfortable spending their money versus not. I would say the last 4 years, we put the slowest growth on our company. I mean, obviously now it's harder to get massive percentages because how big the business is. But this year is the first year in the last 4 years we had over 10% growth. And before, like when we were starting, it was like 30, 25, 50.
What's crazy is your marketing budget is 3.5%.
Yeah.
That's blows my mind. But again, referrals, vehicle wraps, I mean, you have 35 wrapped vehicles, it's 35 billboards.
Right.
If you would have to invest in it today, that would be like 10% probably,
Right.
But it's already done, it's working for you.
That's where the
compound effect of marketing.
Exactly. That's where the longevity really helps us. I mean, for 15 years almost, these people have been seeing our brand everywhere, and it's black and yellow. I mean, everyone from Pittsburgh looks at that and they think Steelers, Pirates, roofing, you know, so it sticks. Yeah. And I think that we just got lucky that we have a brand that people recognize. And I feel like a lot of times people are searching pirate roofer, you know, like who's the guy with the pirate head? Like they don't even know our company name. They just know the logo.
Oh, wow. So people Google this?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we're recognized, you know, like we have like the little bus stops, you know, you'll see around the city that you drive by and you just see that name. But with marketing, what I've learned is it's not like you're going to sit on the couch and see a pizza commercial and be like, oh, I'm hungry, I want Domino's. Like you just need to be there when they're looking. You know, you don't just blanket marketing. Like, yeah, like the cheap $100 a month billboard sign, sure. Like I'm fine with the bus stops. We're there on the job site, like flamboyant. Like we have yard signs, we have dumpsters, we have trucks. Like you cannot, there's no way you could see one of our job sites and not know that Buccos Roofing is doing that job. So that's important, right? Because people, they don't even think about doing their roof until they see their neighbor doing one. And then you play a good game on Google where people are actually searching roofer near me. And another strategy we like is actually buying properties. I know that this is kind of letting one out of the bag, but we were buying billboards for $3,000 a month and I could buy an office for $2,000. And then I'm on the phone near me, right? So that was our strategy. We have a couple of satellite locations around the city.
Interesting. Smart. what technology trends, AI, automation, digital estimating, are you embracing inside Buccos right now?
Well, right now, like with the tokens and the smart estimates, like we internally pioneered that, in my opinion. Like we had Excel spreadsheets dialing this in, adding your 6 nails to every single point where you didn't miss anything. So now we're trying to like rewrite our estimating to use the systems because it's easier to train on that. We're big on the drones. We love giving the homeowner a good picture of their roof. The AI, I don't mind it so much as like a resource to use. It's just not something that you should depend on, in my opinion. So I'll use it to review numbers and return on investment and things like that, but we don't like it to use it.
Interesting. But it's a good helper.
We do, yeah, it's a helper. That's exactly what it is. It cannot be your everything. It can be something.
I hate relying on it. Like to this day, like, I have 4 full-time videographers, 2 graphic designers. Like, pretty sure they all use it. We all use it, but it doesn't matter what you do. Like, if I give it a copy, like number one use for me personally is grammar check. I go in like, because, I make grammar mistakes less and less over the years, but still like, hey, grammar check. And I'll write things and I'll suggest like, do you want me to write in this? And I'm like, no, I want it to be me. Just the grammar check. Don't change anything. I don't like the copies, but sometimes I'll give you like, I use it even when I do my YouTube videos. I'll come up with a catchy title and say, hey, help me. Like, here's what I did last one. It did really well. I uploaded the entire script of the almost 2-hour podcast, and I said, hey, I want a name of the owner, I want a name of the company, and I want to catch a phrase, like a quote, right? And it was something like roofers become pimps. It was like for the title, right? But I don't have 1 hour and 40 minutes to listen to the podcast looking for the quotes.
Right.
I gave it a task, find me catchy, and it'll give me like 30 quotes from the interview. Because if you put it, in the title or in the thumbnail, now it's like catchy, and now you give that quote to that person. It's accurate. I still would like to go and find it where he said it, just to double check that it didn't make it up.
Right.
But like, I don't have time to watch it, and YouTube gives you the transcribe of the interview, right? Like, so there's a lot of utility uses that saves you like essentially hours.
Oh yeah.
But I still have to pick that phrase, that catch, out of 10.
Yeah.
So human factor, it's a prompt. It's what you put in.
I would say the thing that I use it the most for is I use that Fixer AI to run through my emails. I would hope in my next life there are no emails. That is one thing that just drives me crazy. This helps sort them so I know exactly what needs to prioritize, because I'm the kind of person that like, I don't want one email left unread. So when I come in, there's like 40. I want to be able to go through the rest and then click them all read and leave it like that. That's a good thing. And then contracts, like when we go and sign a new lease, or I used to call my lawyer daily.
Yeah,
like,
it replaces it.
Review this. But now I'm like, give me a comprehensive summary of this contract. And I upload it. So stuff like that, I think, is nice to speed up.
Do you want to hear the coolest for me? Guys, comment below your personal AI use. What do you use the most of, and something cool? I want to hear a cool idea. But I recently went to Guadalajara, Mexico, met a few doctors. So I have allergies. Guadalajara, Mexico.
Oh, yeah.
So I have 2 doctors there, dermatologist and allergy doctor. I have a personal assistant who lives there. And I turn ChatGPT like full mode, like $200 a month for translation, because it gets like so much data. And I said, I don't want you to translate. I'm going to go through ChatGPT. I was blown away because it's all medical. So I'm talking in English to her and she's talking Spanish to me.
Nice.
And this thing, like, they were both looking like because your translator might not know some words.
For sure.
So, and because it's not his niche per se. And wherever I was explaining, it just, so I got blood work done. Like, I'll give you one example. I every 6 months I do blood work. And it comes up with a whole bunch of stuff, like from testosterone levels to all my food allergies, everything. But it's all in Spanish. So I took a couple pictures and was like, hey, give me all my food allergies from worst to best in English, of course. Boom, translate. 2 seconds.
Wow.
How long will it take
Right.
for someone to translate, medical document from another country?
Yeah.
So now, and by the way, it's so cheap. Like, the whole trip, like seeing all the doctors, everything, it cost me like $1,500, blood work and
Wow.
everything.
You're gonna have to tell me about that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy. Like when I go to restaurants, and this is my personal use now. Like I try to qualify for CrossFit Games, so I go to a restaurant, I take a picture of menu. That's my habit now, and I say, hey, I work out 2 hours ago. I actually will take picture of my watch. I say I lost 700 calories. I did heavy legs, blah blah blah. I'll tell how many calories. What's the best thing to eat? It'll say number one is eat salmon, and it knows all my allergies. So I'll say
Really?
request not to have the sauce. It has peanuts. You're allergic to peanuts. Like if you wanted this salad, it's a go-to, but request not to put it. Like make sure.
Wow.
So every single restaurant I go to, I take a picture and I say, hey, what should I eat? What's my best meal today? It's like, oh, since you already have that. So I tell it what I ate, I tell what I did, and I don't even read menu anymore.
Wow.
I just read the recommendations because and if I go to other country like Italy or Mexico, I don't care what language it is. Like, what should I eat? And I'll give it, and it'll tell the waiter what to order.
Wow.
Dude, it's insanity.
Yeah.
Like, it's insanity what we can do with this. But it's a helper.
It's crazy not to embrace it. We're trying to see use cases for it, and it's a great tool.
But it's utility though.
Exactly. It's
like not using your lawyer, hey, screen this contract for this information. It'll
Correct.
find it. It'll find the
Yeah.
mistake. It'll find that loophole that it'll take a lawyer forever. It's just such a fast processor there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice. I mean, it's good to use. It's just, I don't want to take away the personal touch.
But you have to be specific the problem you're trying to solve.
Well, you're smart with setting up your ChatGPT so it understands you so well.
Exactly.
That's kind of like the focal point, to make sure that it understands you, and then it can help you so much more.
Yeah.
So that's smart.
You have to train it. But even like my graphic designers and my video guys, they cannot replace, like, I'll immediately spot if it's ChatGPT or not ChatGPT, like, even if it's like video where like it can do a lot, but it doesn't replace your creativity. You still have to pick and choose. You still have to finalize it. Like, it's not going to give you the best copy. It's still going to make mistakes. And I don't know. You still have to
Have you tried translating with those glasses?
No, not yet. This is it's the first time I use it, like during the interview and stuff.
Okay.
No, not yet.
Because I'm pretty good with Spanish. I mean, my in-laws are from Paraguay, and
Okay.
I'm pretty good. But there are times that I don't know everything, and I put those glasses on and listen.
Meta 2 or 3 or
I have the Oakley ones.
okay.
Yeah, the Meta ones, and it's amazing how good it is.
Really?
And yeah, and I work with people that don't speak English, so I'll just put them on them and be like, let me talk to you real fast so you can understand. And then it speaks Spanish to them. So that's nice.
It's very. I mean, but still, that's utility use. Translating, finding research. Yeah. Another cool use for me is like I see all these ads with the like crazy claims, like on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, like this supplement or this, right? So I'll take a screenshot, send it to ChatGPT, and it's like, hey, check out reviews, check out everything. Like, do I need it? It's like, nope. You don't need it. You're already taking something similar. Because sometimes you look at the claim, it's like, sounds too good to be true. Like, one of those NMMs or whatever, like
NMM? Or,
yeah, something like yeah. So I actually bought something very similar, and then I see another ad, and I'm like, what is this? And it's like, oh, you're already using something similar. Keep using that. It's better than this, and here's why. I'm like, well,
can't beat that.
Like, for example, like Grant Cardone will come up with a supplement for $200, right?
Right.
And you're like, hey, what are the ingredients? Can I buy it cheaper? Just when you go to like Walgreens and you say, I need, like cream for, I don't know, allergy. And the doctors say, don't buy brand name, buy our brand because it's same ingredient, right? But you save like $10, same thing.
Right.
Because it knows what it's made of.
Right.
And it'll tell you where to get it and how to make it yourself, maybe.
It is nice. Yeah, you can't beat that.
All right, let's finish up. Too much talk, but AI is big. What's recent industry news caught your attention, and how is it affecting contractors right now? Is ICE big deal here, for example?
Yeah. ICE is heavily motivated. They it depends what they're looking for. I think more the criminal activity, I think, is the priority, but it'll happen. You'll catch wind that crews, I talked to some people that work at other companies and they're like, yeah, we lost 4 crews this week.
Wow.
So I think there's hot spots where they target. I mean, we haven't been too affected by it, luckily, but it's definitely something that you got to think about. I mean, it's not really.
Any other news?
I would say the thing that's on the hot chart right now is private equity. I'm always finding out, oh, this guy got bought, and this guy got bought, and this guy got bought, and you're kind of just getting left with not many competition is what it comes down to.
Why do you think everybody's selling? Is it because they're desperate? Is it money so good, offers so good?
Well, when I evaluated it for me, I pretty much thought it was like a 20-year fast forward, because there's no way I'm taking all my money out of my business ever. Like, I would be foolish to take half the money out that it makes, right? I reinvest so much. So it's like, yeah, you get your 10 times EBITDA. Well, that's like 20 years worth of money if you take half your money. So that gets exciting. For us, it's just a non-negotiable. It's not going to happen because we love the people and the people love us. And we all are so bought in that like I could never do that to one of my friends. If we ever did sell, like obviously the public thing is the route to go, but I would want to continuously do the ESOP where the employees own the Columbus location, or like I have 8 people invested in the Columbus location, all that work here. I wouldn't, no outside money. So if you ever did build it so much, and God forbid we did get annoyed of it, maybe when I'm 50 or something like that, then we sell together, and that becomes cooler. But what I would, if I was private equity, I would look for the guy that's 50, 60 years old. He has 14, 15 years in the business or more. He's done with it. He's not doing $5, $10 million. He's making enough money. He makes $4 million. He's set. Right? So I think it's a smart play. There's a lot of boomers in business that don't want to be in business anymore.
Love it. Are you seeing homeowners becoming more educated or more confused because of an online information?
Oh, what do they say? Like 80% of people just blindly believe ChatGPT, So I'll have homeowners text me. It's like, are you sure you should use this nail for the fascia and this one for the soffit? And according to ChatGPT, you need a galvanized, yeah, they have more resources, but I think experience is kind of the good place to rely on. It's like, hey, we've seen this. We know this isn't going to be a problem. It looks better. It works well. So yeah, there's a lot of information out there. Like even your channel, like I've gone on it in like the earlier ages of my business and like learned, right? So if it's helping me, I'm sure it's helping the customer. And we live in an industry that they don't know so much, I remember watching something that you were talking about how, the difference between, this was back on the Brad Lee thing. It was a long time ago, but you're saying like when you walk on the floor, you see that, you can nitpick that, but they don't go on the roof. So there's just a big part of the house that people don't really understand. And that's the difference that separates us is like, even if they don't see it, I want it to be perfect. So yeah, there's always educating that's going on. And a lot of people do things different ways.
There's more than one way to do it right, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
How do you think financing is shaping the 2025 roofing market compared to the past?
A lot of people like financing. A lot of people like to keep their money in the market. A lot of people like to buy crypto. They want to buy stocks. They want to buy their new car. They want to budget their life to be financed. $100 goes here and $200 goes here. So it's definitely something to put in your business. I don't see, like I was telling you earlier, I think most of the people that actually reach for financing are the people that thought they were going to get a repair, and then we let them know that they should actually do the whole thing. So it's important. It's a nice tool. It's nice to be like, hey, you're going to fix this here and it's going to expose your problem over here. Just get the roof done. Well, I can't. Well, can you pay $125 a month? You have good credit? Yeah, I can. All right, let's do this thing.
Oh, yeah, definitely more and more people are going to do it. And I feel like in the next 5-10 years, it's going to be just like buying a car.
Right.
Like
just a monthly payment.
Yep.
Yeah.
People don't even think about it.
We put it on every contract. Here's your price if you pay right now. Here's how much you pay for a month.
Every contract.
Every contract, yeah.
Interesting. What do you think, last question, what do you think roofing companies must adopt in the next 12 to 24 months in order to stay relevant?
I mean, my thing with these roofing companies is I feel like they're all built on a house of cards. You know, like they just go from 3 years old and doing $10 million. Like that scares me when I think about how it worked for us. I mean, we were like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like we very slowly started. So I will feel like these guys are going to come to realize one day they can't pay their bill because they overshot this thing and they have so many expenses that they can't handle. So growing too fast, I think, is going to be a problem that we're going to see with all these new guys because they have the luxury of actually pulling 5 million in. Like when we started, it was yellow pages, right? And then in yard signs and trucks, like you couldn't just go from 0 to 10 million. But now there's companies that are 3 or 4 years old that are hitting that 8-figure mark. So that scares me. You know, what's going to happen like when they actually hit their first problem and they have all this overhead. But like to your point about the AI, I think that we would be foolish to just say, oh, that's not good. You know, like I think you have to adopt it. You have to have some sort of reviewing on your advertising spending. Make sure, run it through some, you know, algorithms, check your cash flow statement, like upload your P&L, take a look at this, have a second set of eyes on things. So I don't know. I feel like if you can't market, you can't be in business these days. I hate to say it like that, but that's pretty much,
That's true.
that's the truth, right? And then what's going to kill them is if they don't do good products, you know? Like that is the killer of your business is warranties, right? Like once you get to this 10-year point and you have thousands of customers every single year, like you have 10,000 people that are still under your warranty. If you're not doing good roofs, say goodbye, right? Like you got to drop 1,000. It's no less than $500 to get my truck on your driveway. Right? So if you have to fix your own mistakes every single day, it's going to cost you a lot of money.
Well, I don't think you realize it, but this is probably going to be, don't want to sound arrogant, but almost as big as IRE as far as the YouTube goes. I'm super excited for you and for the journey. I have been personally waiting for the good franchise to come to the market. And again, if you think you have a good franchise model, reach out, we'll come interview you. But brother, good luck with the franchise model. We'll see you in the next few years. And one day you'll go public.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Trust me, this wasn't something that I thought lightly of. I was anticipating your arrival. I was very cognizant of how important this is. You're so important to the industry. You're the face of it in some regards, right? So I wanted to make sure that no walls needed a little touch-up paint, and we represented ourselves properly. And
we're gonna have a new gym installed.
Yeah, well, that was actually underway already before, but
this is good.
We want to make sure that we give a good impression to you because you have exposure to all these people. And I know that your take on the franchise industry is the exact same as mine. Like it is borderline criminal, the way that these people compete in this industry right now. And I want to stop that because I do believe that we bring value without hurting you. And I think that that's the missing link between most of these most of these franchise companies. Like they only care about themselves, right? So if we can bridge that gap where we're helping you and we're not hurting you also, I think it's going to be a great business for everyone. But thank you.
And a huge shout out to JobNimbus for making this happen. Yeah. JobNimbus for the win. They send us here. Thank you, JobNimbus. And
thank you, JobNimbus.
And all the way to the public, man. Wall Street. I want to be there at the bell.
I'll give you some shares.